If you know me as the Airbnb guy, that's not mainly what I do and only what I do. But today we're going to be talking about how to start a business. Not any business in particular, but just how to start. Main masla logon ko jo aata hai, which is why people don't even try, is that we don't have the funds to get started. We don't have the money to get started. You need money to start a business. The thing is, even if you want to go to your father and ask for money, you need to have a solid plan. A lot of people, what happens is, they'll be like, I want to start a clothing brand. And when you ask them questions, for example, source कहाँ से करोगे? वो मेरे दोस्त के घर के पास एक फैक्ट्री है, वहाँ से बना लूँगा. अच्छा, what's the quality of that? वो अच्छी है, मैंने देखा था, like they don't know anything about it. So when you present yourself in that way to people that you will be, asking for funds, they will not believe in you. ठीक है? Maybe even your own parents don't give you money to get started. But on the other hand, if you have a solid plan and you know what you're doing, कि आपसे कोई किसी किस्म का भी सवाल उसके बारे में पूछ ले, and you don't get startled, you know exactly कि उसका जवाब क्या है, कैसे करना है, कैसे execute करना है, no one will mind giving you the money in return for more. ठीक है? Because if anyone that has money, they want more. No one wants less money. And if they can see potential in you, कि शायद आपको पैसे दें and they can make more money, they most probably will give you the money. ठीक है? So that's the first thing. कि having no money to start is not the only thing that needs to block you. You need to have a solid plan and know what you're doing. Money will not be the last thing that will be stopping you. दूसरी चीज, everyone thinks a bit too big. Like हर बंदे ने reinvent करना होता है wheel को कि I want to do something brand new जो कि भी हुआ ही नहीं है. And that is not the case. You can copy pasting in a business model is not a bad thing. Every big business that's running, the profitable business, there has to be some things जो वो अपने customer की address नहीं कर सकते. जो चीजें हैं जिनकी वजह से उनके customers are lacking that thing. Anything that you guys like, for example, a fashion brand, a food restaurant, or anything of that sort, there will be one thing that you guys won't like about it. And if someone executes that exact model, but सिर्फ उस एक चीज को वो सिर्फ improve कर ले, you will do better than them. Eventually you will. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel कि मतलब I have to do something बिल्कुल unique. You don't have to do that. You can just get started with anything that's already working, which is a proven business model. Make tweaks to that as you feel necessary, and it will run. ठीक है? The other thing is, ये दोनों चीजें भी हो रही हैं. Business पैसे कहाँ से आने हैं, करना क्या है, दोनों figure out हो गए. तीसरी चीज पे लोग उधर फंस जाते हैं. They don't move on at all. कि करूँगा कैसे, या क्या मसले आएंगे, क्या मसले नहीं आएंगे. The reality is, you will be able to right now, if any of you have any business idea in mind, you can think of like 90 problems that will come up when you start it. The reality is, when you start, 10 of those issues will come up, and the rest 80 will never show up, ठीक है, throughout your entire journey. And 80 new issues which you would never even imagine before starting it will come up, and you will have to face them. So, for example, how many of you know how to swim? So, quite a few don't know how to swim. अब आप लोगों को, if someone wants to teach you how to swim, वो आपको एक टीवी के सामने बिठा दे, YouTube पे एक वीडियो लगा दे कि how to swim. आपको कहे इसको देखो और उसके बाद पूल में छलांग मार लो. You guys most probably wouldn't be able to do, because बाहर से बैठ के देखना और assess करना is very easy. When you're doing that thing yourself, the whole thing changes. ठीक है? But if you're in water and कि यार अगर अपने आप को नहीं बचाया मरूंगा ही, तो कुछ ना कुछ करके हाथ पांव मार के निकल ही आएंगे उससे. ठीक है? Similar is with a business. Whatever, if it just makes sense on the basics, और आपको थोड़ी बहुत भी समझ आ रही है कि any service or product, how to source that, how to deliver that, how to market it, when you start, you will learn along the way. You will not have everything figured out from day one. ठीक है? No one has it figured out from day one. A lot of the things you will face when you start, in the middle of it, बाद में बड़ी सारी चीजें change होती रहेंगी. All you have to do is keep on evolving around that. And जब मसला सर पे आ जाता है, तब सोचना होता है कि अब इसके बारे में क्या करना है. पहले से सोचते रहेंगे, those things might not even end up happening. जो होना होगा वो उस टाइम पता चल जाएगा. And then you just have to make quick decisions on how to just avoid that. फिर चौथी चीज, चलें, you're starting off as well, सब कुछ हो गया, will power भी आ गई है. Never have a plan B. Now, it might sound a bit off कि plan B कैसे नहीं होना चाहिए, but what happens is, when you're gonna start a business, almost every time when you go to like 5-6 months of being in that business, you'll be like मतलब ये क्या हो रहा है, ठीक है, because something will come up and you'll be like, I want to close it down. When you have a plan B, any small inconvenience that happens, any roadblock that you hit, automatically your mind goes कि चलो plan A हो गया, अब वापस plan B पे जाओ. And plan B is almost always much less aggressive than your plan A, and there are much lesser chances of that even working out. So whenever you're starting, have only one plan, know कि यार ये चीज़ करनी है, ये शुरू कर रहा हूँ या कर रही हूँ, and ये करके ही इससे मतलब छोड़ना. And if you have that mindset कि no matter what it takes, I'll give it time, I'll give it energy, you most probably will. But if from day one you're thinking of contingency plans and what if it doesn't work out, फिर क्या करेंगे? Almost always you will be following that second plan, and 4-5 महीने बाद आप वापस point 0 पे होंगे जहाँ पे आपने start कर लिया होगा, एक road block hit करके आप वापस मुड़ के उधर ही आ जाएंगे जहाँ पे आपको कुछ भी नहीं करना आ रहा होगा. So for that reason you shouldn't be planning any plan Bs. And third is कि just know one thing, it sounds very nice कि I want to be my own, run my own business and everything, but you need to have a very high stress tolerance, ठीक है? Because it's not fancy the way it's shown on Instagram, ठीक है? Running a business, if you're running, maybe you have a lot of employees and everything, you're going to be the last one that gets paid, ठीक है? And for example, when you're at a point कि किसी के 10 employees हैं, 50 employees हैं, 100 employees हैं, it's not, you will be making decisions, but they will not be affecting your life only. If you have like 10 employees and आगे उन पे, for example, there's even 5 people that depend on them, on their salary. So ultimately your decisions are, shaping many things for all of those 50 people. So you need to take responsibility over it as well. When you're starting something and employing people, you need to factor in the thing like, उनकी भी जिंदगी अब आपसे जुड़ गई है, because whatever decision you make, if the company goes down and they're out of a job, it's on you in a way, ठीक है? You won't be able to pay them, they won't be asking you for it as well. But अगर 2-3 महीने भी वो घर बैठे रहे, आप गिल्ट से मर जाओगे कि यार वो बेचारा अपने बच्चों की फीस वगैरह नहीं भर पा रहा क्योंकि मेरे से गलती होगी. So you have to have a very high stress tolerance, and you have to be a generalist. Another thing, अगर किसी भी एक डिपार्टमेंट को या फोटे को या किसी चीज़ को पकड़ लोगे and you just keep on going at it. For example, if you're starting like an online store, कोई Shopify पे store वगैरह launch कर रहे हो, and आप अब सिर्फ Facebook ads के पीछे पड़ गए हो, and आपके दिन में 10 घंटे आप Facebook ads के ऊपर ही सिर्फ लगा रहे हो, eventually you'll become a digital marketer more than a business owner, ठीक है? Any successful business owner that you pick up, they will not be specialized in one field. They will be generalists who would know exactly how everything works, not in a very in-depth manner, but they would have a team or someone helping them जिसको अपनी fortes का पता होगा. आप अकेले हर एक चीज़ को नहीं कर पाएंगे. You cannot run one-man armies. जितना मर्जी आप कोशिश कर लें, at one point you will need people where you will have to delegate some tasks, and you will just have to manage everyone instead of doing everything yourself, because eventually you will burn out. There will come a time where you will not be able to grow because you have 24 hours in a day and you have one body and you cannot replicate yourselves. So from starting point you need to delegate stuff in a way कि कल को आप उस पे grow भी कर सकें. सब कुछ सिर्फ खुद से नहीं करना. One-man armies never work out, because you reach a point where you hit a ceiling and then you can never go past that, because there's been no one else involved in the business since day one. So these are just my 2 cents on how exactly to get started. Just one last thing I wanted to add. Never start a business just because someone else is making money in it. If I'm making money in Airbnb, does not mean you will make money in it. If someone else is making money in crypto, does not mean you need to start crypto. If someone's making money in e-commerce, does not mean that. Do what you actually want to do, and जो आपको लगता हो कि आप कर भी लेंगे. Just because someone else makes money, I've failed multiple businesses like that कि मेरे दोस्त अच्छा कर रहा है उसमें तो शुरू कर दिया, and then eventually you can't do it. You can't do everything. So stick to one thing, grow it, but do one thing जो आप खुद करना चाहो. सिर्फ इस वजह से ना कह रहे हो कि यार कोई और उसमें पैसे बना रहा है तो बस मैं भी शुरू कर दूंगा, मेरे पास भी पैसे आने लग जाएंगे. That's not how it works. Don't get influenced. Look at your own strengths and capabilities and take decisions accordingly. Not because someone else told you to start or you got, just inspired by the money factor. If you get inspired by other things, how it's helping society or whatever, that's all right. But just because of money, don't get influenced into starting a business. If some people over here don't want to start a business and Instagram pe posts aa rahi hain ki business, it's not even everyone's cup of tea, and that's all right. If, for example, you're someone that often thinks कि यार ये मेरे बस की बात नहीं है, so it doesn't matter what people on Instagram are saying. If you stick to a job as well, there are a lot of people that have made careers and they make much more than businessmen as well. You can see chartered accountants, you can see lawyers, you can see doctors making a lot more than an average businessman as well. So choose what's right for you, not because someone else is doing good at it or because you got influenced by someone else that's making money with it. Okay? So that's all I have to say.